Yes, guys, welcome to SFeatleyTV, and we're doing a very late stream tonight. A late stream. We are doing the EPL Review Show. It's because I want to try and fit in another show tomorrow, so I've got to do this now. So, yeah, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, please. Really important to do so. And yeah, let's get into it. We're going to be covering a few topics as well. Let's see if we can try and get a few fans on as well. Let's drop the link. As well. Let's drop link in there. So links in the chat now. If you want to come on and have your say, please do. So yeah. Yeah, so right, let's get into it. The EPL Review Show. Let's look back at the Premier League games this weekend. I'll get to that in a minute, John. Don't you worry about that. We'll be answering everyone's questions as well. Get your questions in as well. We'll start with the Arsenal game. Arsenal 2, Brentford 1. Very dominant display by Arsenal. As you can tell by the stats, 67% possession, 33%, 24 shots, 8 on target, and eventually got the win in the end. It did show our deficiencies up front at times, where we're creating opportunities but not putting them away. But in the end, we got the job done, and that's the main thing. And we remain 4 points behind Man United with 3 games in hand, which means we need to win 2 games at least to get in front. 2 of those, so which I think we could do. What do you think of the Xhaka incident, Joanne? I think this has been a misconception by fans or miscommunication. I don't think he was disgracing the captain's armband again. I don't really see it, to be honest. I think he was more, this ain't towards me. Like this, I'm not the vice captain. Tierney's the vice captain. I think that's what he meant by give it to Tierney. So I don't think there was any malice in it, like, oh, fuck off, like, I'm not having that. It was more like, you got to give it to Tierney. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, to be honest, mate. To be honest, as much as I don't like Xhaka, it could be Xhaka being Xhaka, but I don't think it was, to be honest. So I'm not going to judge him on that. I'm not. Let's put it that way. Let's have a look. And if you could tell, obviously we started with a 4-3-3, to be honest, which then switched to a 4-2-3-1 eventually. And you can tell that Brentford, they played a 3-5-2, but pretty much Canos and Henry dropped to a back 5, and Vissa dropped to a midfield 4 with Mbumbu's. They're basically a DM, played as a DM all game, because as their outlet, because they were there to park the bus. They had no Tony, they had no Ericsson. The only way they could get through that game was by parking the bus for this game. So yeah, this is the only way they were going to do it. So nice. Yeah. But there you go. Moving on. And by the way, it was nice to see Pepe finally get some minutes, by the way. Nearly scored as well, which would have embarrassed all you Arteta sexuals. You Arteta sexuals. I heard some of these comments over these fan cams. Are you seriously like the best young team in the world? Are you fucking dickheads? Seriously. Can you show your cam fit, please, before you come on? If I don't know you, if I don't know any of you, can you show your camera backstage first before you come on? Otherwise, you're not coming on. Simple. Because there's plenty of trolls around, especially this time of night as well. So yeah, make sure you do check, please. Well, that's a blank screen, mate. I can't see that. Pepe is great. Is great. It's a sackable offence. Not playing him playing him all the time. Yeah, Pepe is a great asset. He's a great asset, and when you use him correctly, he's quality. You need an overlapping runner, and that's probably why he was so effective in that game, because we were so dominant, we could play an overlapping runner. So he got more supply in that way, and I think people are calling him star up front, and I don't see why not. Josh?
I'm in here.
Hello?
Hello?
You alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, just talking about the Arsenal game. What do you make of it, mate?
Good game, to be fair. Pepe didn't do great.
Pepe didn't what?
Pepe wasn't great.
Go on.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, go on. You were saying? We scored 3 today. I think top 4 chances on track. Watched Spurs game, and I generally think...
Yeah, Saka and Smith Rowe are incredible.
Yeah, yeah, what did you make of it? Like, I mean...
very
there's
good.
a lot...
Very good, very nice. Yeah, man. To the best youngsters in the world.
That trust me, that's not exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
Very good.
That's
very
exactly
nice.
what.
Snapped up my son. Good team.
Get out of here, mate. You can take the piss. Fuck off. I really am not in the mood. I watched the Spurs game. Yeah, well, get back now, motherfucker. I generally think that City had a worse performance of the season. I think our top 4 chances are on track. I watched the Spurs game, and I generally think City, their worst performance of the season. You never know. You never know. Hey, Steven, big up Jordan. Hope you're well, mate. Big up Sentiment. I hope you're well as well. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe as well. Yeah, really do appreciate that as well. Let me try and see if I can get some proper guests on, actually. Why not? Right. Yeah, that's right. Do you know what? I'm never gonna... Do you know what? You know when you drop the link in the chat and then people just spoil it? You know what I mean? Nice shit. Mate, you gotta look dapper in you. You gotta look dapper. Gotta look dapper in you. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna move on. Big up, mate. Arteta is the one. Is he really? Is he really? Not to me, mate. Not to me. Get me in a title race, mate. Then I'll back him. Let's make my position perfectly clear. But I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but he's not the one for me. Definitely. Right? Just because we've got 3 games now and we're 2 points behind Man United in the full spot, does not mean he's good enough for Arsenal Football Club. I got rid of Arsene Wenger because he kept finishing top 4. Why would I put up with Mikel Arteta, who finished 8th twice? In the end, I want the league, and the only way we're going to do that is pretty much getting rid of this manager, to be honest, because this manager ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. We're Arsenal. We're not going in a title race. Not with Arteta, we won't. Not with Arteta, we won't. Where do you think we'll finish? Arteta has no excuse to finish 4th. If we finish any lower than 4th, if he finishes lower than 4th, he's not good enough. Simple as that. He's not good enough. Loving the stream, mate. Big up. Yeah, he's right. Arteta is the one prick on his team back this season. It's a good point. In the position we're in, we should be winning. We should be getting in a title race. We should not be getting a title race. So we should be getting top 4. In the position we win, we should get top 4. End of story. If we can't get in top 4, he hasn't got the minerals to take us into a title race. He hasn't got the minerals to do that, mate. He's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. Simple as that. I watched my team win a title. Why would I want to put up on a manager who can't even get his top 4? Why? I got rid of Wenger, who I grew up watching 3 Premier League titles. The first one, maybe I was only 4 years old, so I can't really remember it. But the other 2, I remember. Right? And I want those times back. It's been 17 years. I'm not waiting any longer. Right? I'm not waiting 4 years for some process that don't even know it's going to work. When has a Project Youth ever banged? When? Busby, 92. That's pretty much about it, innit? It's about 2 times it's ever banged. And people think all of a sudden after 4 years, we're just going to go straight up the league and start winning. You really think Man City are going to stop that? You're going to let that happen? You really think Liverpool are going to let that happen? You really think they're not going to improve? They're already doing it. They're already improving. They're bringing Luis Diaz in to replace Mane. They brought Jota in to replace Firmino. They're replacing their side already. They're adapting for new seasons. So if he can't compete with these teams, he's not good enough. Simple. Big up, Mikel Arteta. Talk. Hope you're all well, mate. Steven, my bro, how are you? Hope you're good, my friend. I saw you on the terrace chatty early, mate. Big up to you. By the way, if anyone wants to challenge and state why they want to think Arteta's good enough, please do. What did you think of the performance yesterday? I think the performance was good. We played well. It was very, 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 very. I mean, Brentford made it sort of easy for ourselves because they sort of sat back and parked the bus and let us come at them and made it difficult to break down. It did show our deficiencies right up front, but in the end, we got the victory that we needed. And luckily for once, he played Pepe, and I think Pepe, the way he's mistreating him is a scandal. It's an absolute scandal. So that's my sort of opinions on the game. Now he needs to carry that on to Wolves next Thursday. He needs to beat Wolves. That's one of our games in hand. He needs to win. There's no justifiable reason. Jamal Edwards, rest in peace. I'll go quickly look that up, actually. I don't. Music entrepreneur and YouTube star dies at aged 31. Oh, what? I'm 31 years old. Jesus Christ. Jesus. 31 years old, bro. It's too young, man. I'm 27, man. 27. There you go. Moving on. Man United versus Leeds. Do you really think Pepe is consistent enough to get in his team? No, I'm not convinced. I do feel he does not deserve to be constantly benched and left on the bench, if you know what I mean. I think he should be picked. He should be being picked over Nketiah. If you're picking Nketiah over Pepe, you're basically telling me Nketiah is better than Pepe. He ain't. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. He needs to pick up his form. I'm not going to deny that. He's not worth £72 million. Definitely don't deny that. But he has got qualities to his game which could impact a game in the second half easily. Easily. So he should be getting in this team. He should be getting in this team off the bench. He should be making an impact off the bench. He should be one of our options we should be bringing on. Right? But he doesn't bring him on during games. Very rarely. Why? It's a perfectly good option. Especially when the squad is super thin. It is very, very thin. You know? It just quickly. So, yeah, it's really important that we use all our resources. Right? But, yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you do hit subscribe. Also, please donate to the Children's Liver Disease Foundation, either by super chat, becoming a member, like Mikel Arteta Talk is. Right? Easy enough. Hit the join button below from as little as $1.99 a month. Also, donate via the Just Giving page link down below. So, Manchester United 4 leads 2. They let a 2-goal cushion slip, Man United, but luckily they bounced back with Fred Elanga. And Fred proved he had a really good game for it once, and actually they actually managed to bounce back and actually show some mentality, which is we thought has been lacking in that side. Which again, puts the pressure on us to go into our game in hand and win our game in hand. Simple as that. We need to go there and do it. I'm not having the excuses that keep getting made for this manager. Agreed. I think he could bring him on more, and I think he could use this. He could make use of the subs more, but realistically, he does not bench anyone in the first 11, in my opinion. Yeah, I could understand that to an extent. He's got this. What I think he should do, to be honest, mate. If you look at Saka's not been playing well recently. And I think it's not just because he's not been rested, which he hasn't been rested since really that holiday. And before that, it was lockdown in 2020. It's not so much that. It's the fact that I think he's getting comfortable because he knows there's no competition. I think he knows he's not going to get picked, that Pepe's not going to get picked over him. So I think picking Pepe every once in a while over Saka would give Saka a kick up the arse to say, oi, you've got competition, you need to perform if you're going to keep your place. That's what I think he needs to do with Pepe. Use him to sort of help Saka, encourage him to prove his game. I think United were rubbish today, by the way. They were fortunate. Leeds were just dreadful at defending. So frustrating to watch them. Yeah, man. Like, Leeds are just poor defensively, and that's why they're in the predicament they're in. I do think they'll stay up, but like, they're so open. It's unreal. It's so open. They're so open when you play them. So that's why it's so easy. Go to the shock of the weekend, which was Tottenham. Like, Tottenham 3, Man City 2. You thought they rescued a point, Man City, in the last minute, but then out of nowhere, Harry fucking Kane has to go and spoil the bloody party. Don't get me wrong, Tottenham is shit. I still don't count them in the equation, like in the top 4 equation. I don't. I count Wolves and fucking West Ham still over them. Like, they are shocking. They are so poor. It's unreal. But it just seems to be like Man City has that team that they play poor against, and it seems to be Spurs. Like, they've always had a good result against Man City for some reason. They're beautiful beat. I think they've beaten them home and away this season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have. They've beaten them home and away this season. What does that tell you? Tells you loads, doesn't it? Tells you absolute loads, doesn't it? Let me just try to have a look at something. Right. But yeah. And look at it. Man City battered them all game. Yeah. Mate, if I'm bringing you on, you're either going to be like contribute or get lost, because I'm not in for bullshit right now. Fans love a good cry about refs shifting blame, just like I tell. You know what I mean? They blame the ref all the time. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, sentiment. We should have had 2 penalties in that game. We should have had a handball, and Lacazette was hacked down. Right? But if we lost that game or drew that game, I wouldn't have been blaming the ref, because we should have been putting away opportunities. Simple. Right. But anyway, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We are moving to Chelsea Palace. Very long drawn out game and difficult game for Chelsea. And I said it'd be a difficult game for Chelsea. I think they'd win, but it'd be a difficult game because Vieira's a good manager, and what he's done with Crystal Palace is amazing. And it's quite actually a very well balanced game. Look at the stats. The stats make sure tell that it's very evenly balanced throughout the game. 9 shots, 3 on target for Chelsea, 7 shots and 0 on target for Palace. Possession was pretty much said 60-40. Passes and passing accuracy was around about the same. So quite level. Pepe always does rubbish with the Spuds. So he knows that they are just gonna counter attack all day long. I'm surprised they struggled to stop it. Yeah, I'll give you. It's a very, very good point, mate. I hear you on that one. I think the one pen, if that, Licker spent a lot of time on the floor begging for a call. Yeah, to be honest, mate, there was one these definitely should have been sent off for. Definitely. 100%. He should have got a pen. The one he was hat down for, he should have got a pen. He never caught the ball. He never caught, like, the defender never caught the ball, and he took him from behind. That's a pen. If it was outside the box, it would have been a free kick. So there you go. But the handball one didn't even go to the monitor was unreal. Jonathan Moss, I state you not. Jonathan Moss is the worst fucking referee in the Premier League. I'm not joking. The guy is a fucking wanker. He is an absolute wanker when it comes to it. So can't come on, but finally good to see Burnley get another win under their belt. Gives us glimmers of hope and optimism going forward. Big up Turf Moorhouse. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to Dan's channel, Turf Moorhouse TV. Does great Burnley content and football content as well, man. So big up to him. Make sure you go and check him out and give him a sub. He needs cheering up. He supports Burnley. Chelsea need to get their shooting boots on. Lol, I feel it could give them problems later on. This is what I said, and I said on just the Pullen stream at 10 or 9 or something like that. I think I said about it because we're going on about the Chelsea game as one of our game in hand. Live at this, yeah, man. Live at this time, man. Like we're doing a Luca, man. We're doing a Luca. We're gonna stay out late. You know what I mean? But we can talk facts. We talk facts. I send the link as well, mate. So if you want to come on, do so, mate. But yeah, Chelsea needs to get their shooting. But yeah, like I said with Chelsea, I said that we could get an opportunity to nick a point if we play well and they're not getting their shooting boots on. We could nick a point, right? I'm not joking. We could do that, right? Liverpool, we won't. Wolves, we will win. We should know. We should no score in the morning. Block that one. When's bedtime, Steve? I don't usually sleep, to be honest, mate. I ain't been coping very well, so I don't fucking sleep anyway. Yeah, Moss is crap. He doesn't know how to ref a game. To be fair, though, the consistency in refereeing is terrible in this league. The refereeing in football is disgraceful. That's why when I watched F1, I always thought F1 had a higher standard of refereeing. But then I watched the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Make me a mod if you need to. If I need to. Do I need to? Let me have a look. Yeah, man, I can make you and Turf more. Yeah, I'll do that now, mate. Yeah, because there's not many of my mods around, so I'll do that for you. Because there's not many mods around, so that helps. That does help in a way. Let's give it a that. Right, cheers for that. That helps. But yeah, where are we going? We're going with don't get me still starting the F1. Still can't believe they stole Lewis's 8. Mate, you can find all our F1 content on our new channel, SFeatley F1. Literally, take the TV out of SFeatley and put F1 next to it, and you'll find a new channel. Go and subscribe to that because that's where we're doing all our F1 content. We'll be talking about it. Don't you worry about that. We keep talking about it all the time. We'll keep holding this FIA to account. How you been anyway, man? I'm struggling, man, but I'm coping. Big up, Alexander Hilton. I hope you're well, bro. yeah, I hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you in here. Keep smashing that like button if you can for us. It really does mean a lot to me. Um, just having you in for the stream at this late in the hour is really nice. So I really do appreciate it. You know, I always appreciate it. So I mentioned Brian Burnley. I think Turf Moorhouse did, didn't he? Turf Moorhouse TV just before he goes to sleep. Like, and Burnley, like, that was a shock. I did not see that one coming. First of all, I didn't see Burnley scoring 3 goals. Second of all, I didn't see Brighton conceding 3 goals. Graham Potter just didn't help my cause any there. Just playing from Football Manager Power and joined this as seen your message. Yeah, man. No worries, man. I'm sure you're managing better than me. Oh, mate, you should have seen Luca on his stream today. He got spanked 7-1 by Portugal with Renato Sanchez and Andre Silva. Oh, I loved every minute of it. Unfortunately, didn't play Sweden and play Isak. Oh, well. That would have been the icing on the cake if we lost to them. But yeah, Brighton 11 shots, 1 on target. Burnley 10 shots, 4 on target. And you can tell, look, Brighton's dominated the game. They dominated the game. And yet they got battered. The banner still says, oh, does it still say back? Oh, mate, that's. Sorry, I sometimes forget to adjust it. Thanks for that one. Oh. I know I had you in there for some reason. 7-1. Yeah. Hey, Steven, a little look at the video yesterday. No excuses not to get top 4. I think we need to beat. Is it? Oh, you looked at my video. Sorry. No excuses to get top 4. Yeah, no excuse to get top 4. Still think we need to beat United and Tottenham though. Yeah, man. But I still think in the position we're in, we should be able to do it. You should do. Man United, it can go either way. Same with Spurs. The forms are not great. The inconsistencies. Tottenham, I'm not considering form because it's North London derby. Form goes out the window. So whoever's better on the day. It's like a quarter-final sort of thing. That Virgil's guy for that Burnley got is alright, you know. I wished Arsenal looked for a striker in January like that. Brighton ain't doing great at the moment either. That's exactly what I'm saying, mate. Like, and do you know what? You know me. This is what I'm saying. Like, Isak would have been a great addition, but Isak would have been a great addition, but Isak is young. He's way overpriced, but he is very young. He's very talented. We need more experience in our team. We need someone like Lautaro Martinez, for example. Andre Silva is out the window because he's at Leipzig. In terms of midfielders, I take Ronaldo on a 2-year deal. I'm not even lying. That's a 2-year deal for Ronaldo. It's a quality deal because he's got Premier League experience. He's won a Premier League. He's won Champions League. He's not past his best just yet, and he brings vast experience into the dressing room. Exactly what you need. Rather that than Xhaka. If you're going to look for advice as an experienced player, who are you going to look to? Granit Xhaka, who since he's turned up has not been able to qualify for the Champions League, or you're going to look to a Premier League and Champions League winner in Wijnaldum. I'll tell you who I'm going for. Loved every minute of the Leeds game. I'm sure you did, mate. I bet you didn't after they scored their second goal. The minute where they scored second. Yeah, that's what I bet you didn't. I bet you were shitting yourself by that point. Yeah, all that. I bet the first thing was, here we go again. Mate, Mate, do you know what? No, the best image. Do you know what the best clip review? The best clip review was. What was the best clip review? Oh, I know what the best clip. Oh, mate, do you remember the Europa League final last season? You remember the Europa League final last season when like you missed that penalty? It went on for ages, and then you missed that penalty. Oh my god, it went mad. We've got Rich, man. How are you doing, my bro?
Yeah, good, very good.
Look how desperate I've tried to get Rich on. I had to do this at midnight just to get Rich on the stream, man.
I was busy earlier on, but you know, come on, if I'm free.
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, I'm talking about Man United's game. We were talking about obviously on your channel.
That's good timing.
What did you make of it? Obviously, you don't get usually a chance to need to have your opinion on your channel, so I thought let you
Honestly,
go
it was one of those games where I just heard you. I was just listening to you. I was making a cup of tea, and yeah, when they scored those 2 goals, the first goal was a complete freak goal as far as I'm concerned. When they scored the second one, I was just thinking, "Oh, come on, guys! Leeds are so awful. We've had so many chances." I did actually say to someone when I was watching the game, I was like, "Okay, we're probably going to get like another 5 or 6 decent chances." So I was still fairly confident that we'd get a win. But it's one of those games, isn't it? Sometimes you watch a game and think, like games I've watched maybe a couple months ago, if we'd thrown away that lead, I'd just think, okay, we're not going to do anything. But against Leeds, you know, you can have a chance, and we should have scored more before they made it 2-2. I think the thing with that game is that they're just a perfect opponent for us. The weather probably didn't help. I think maybe gust of wind caught the ball. It was definitely a cross. Got a bit lucky. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. It was one of those games where, for some reason, I just felt confident we were going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised you didn't win that game because Leeds are very open, and that's their usually Achilles heel. Just before I continue, by the way, Daniel Jones is a Brentford fan who came on for the preview. Yeah, I think he works for I believe Bees TV, if I'm not mistaken. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to Bees TV on YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe to them and give them so make sure you do that because he's a top lad. Rich doesn't wake up to 12
honestly, I have to go and work for 9, so I will be. Leeds were terrible. Do you know what the thing is with Leeds? They can't defend, can they?
So as long as we can. That's the thing. They were all right defensively last season. They were not too bad.
Well,
I mean, I don't know what the league was like.
Langer should have scored before we scored his first goal, and Ronaldo should have probably scored in the first half. The thing that I was a bit annoyed by is that I think in the end the weather probably didn't help. So you see a lot of people that for some reason when it's clear that you can't pass the ball because the pitch is waterlogged, you still see some people trying to do that.
Do you know what I remember? I remember a game at was it at the was it Ellen Road? Last time I went mad of a waterlogged pitch, and I was a young fan, so I'd blamed everything apart from Arsenal back then, right? And I looked at the pitch, and we were playing Man United in an FA Cup game. I think it was a 4th round game, something like that. The pitch, there was so much water on it; it was unreal. And after the game, I was like, "Well, of course they let them play in the fucking water pitch. There's no way they were going to beat us, right?" And I blame everyone else apart from like the fact we just couldn't score. We had opportunities in the game, we just didn't put them away. But like now, if I said that, I would have probably just just shit. We just can't play in it. We just can't
That's
play.
The thing, though, they're still like decent.
Just don't put us near water.
I think Manchester United, when we broke, looked really good, and Sancho for me has looked like the player we were expecting the last few games. He looks really good.
Leeds conceded 54 goals against them and 64 goals for. 62 goals for, so 8 goal difference. So yeah, maybe they were struggling. Also, they were struggling.
Yeah, we got 9 against them this season. So.
Yeah, Mike. No, Bielsa overworks their players. Their main starters like Bamford get injured. Here's a point. I predict 6-3. To be fair, then changed.
Yeah, everyone thought goals. I said 3-1, and it could have been like 5 or 6, 2 or 3.
Classic 70 vibes.
I wouldn't say it was necessarily 70s. It was bad, wasn't it? It was you used to seeing like pristine pitches, aren't you, like snooker tables, and like to see a couple of players obviously not used to that conditions, and they tried to do a few fancy passes that just kind of hung up in the water. And yeah, you can't really. In the end, Manchester United were a much better team than Leeds, and Leeds got that lucky goal. It could have been like 5-1, which probably should have been on balance.
By the way, Mike, like, yeah, that was when I was 13, 14. I've grown up. I've grown up since then. I predicted 40 United, Leeds lacking quality and abundance.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Rafinha didn't come on unless he's not 100% match fit, but he looked decent.
Do you think it was good to see do you think it's good to see how Man United responded when you went 2-2? Because I think in previous games, if you went 2-2, you could have fallen apart, which is what's happened before. So the fact you're away from home for a start.
I think it happened against Villa.
And you've come back.
When we conceded 2 against Aston Villa, though Aston Villa are a much better team than Leeds. If anything, they looked like to get the winner, and we looked a bit worried. With this one, I don't know, I just didn't feel concerned because I just thought we'd probably score another couple of goals. And it was just one of those things where you just think, as long as we take enough chances, and like Mike said, the way Leeds play at the moment, probably it might be because it's the first game at Ellen Road for a long time that they actually had fans in. So Leeds never sit back anyway, and they're not going to sit back. I was just surprised actually that we didn't see a red card. If you watch the game, there's so many bookings.
I do feel that in a sense. But I think in terms of top 4, what do you think this means? Like I mentioned earlier, I think the key games are obviously when we play you. Obviously, our games in hand have got to take into account as that as well. And I said this earlier. I don't think we'll beat Liverpool. We get smashed by Liverpool.
Yeah, I think
Spurs we should do, but it's North London derby, so form goes out the window. And again, with Man United, I feel with Man United it's more with Chelsea. No, it's Chelsea our game in hand. Isn't Chelsea? I feel is we could do if we have a really good day and they're not got their shooting boots on like they did with Palace and other games. We could end up getting a point, like we in a sense, but that would be a push. Right, but I wouldn't predict it, but I would say we could do. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I would say with Manchester United that we're not really expected to get anything out of the Liverpool and City game. In March is a really difficult month for us, but it's going to be interesting.
Plus, you've got to play Let's Go as well.
It's going to be interesting to see how the fact we've got to play European games as well. So we've got 2 extra games against Atletico, which will be difficult. Even though Atletico are a great team, they're still going to be a difficult team to play. And it's still 50-50 as far as I'm concerned for who gets through that fixture. But also play Arsenal has 2 leagues, so potentially. But the key games, what I'm trying to see actually is because we were so awful against Liverpool and against Man City that now we've got Rangnick in charge, and I know it's we're not destroying teams week in, week out, but interesting to see how he sets up against City. And again, actually City were a team that Ollie did well against. But interesting to see how we do against Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Yeah, which is glitching just a bit. It must be the internet this time.
Okay, it might be.
Yeah, I'll go back again. I think we'll get it as long as Ronaldo turns up in a massive plus at around this time of the year. Plus, he has a massive games for Portugal in March. He'll shine back at the end of the season. Well, possibly we'll look. We've got to look at the other games that have been played this week, which that wasn't. No, that isn't that one. It's that one. Sorry. Yep. Let's get rid of that one. So that was Burnley. Let's look at obviously Newcastle, West Ham. Now, Joe Willock could have been useful for Arsenal. Scores and put some level. West Ham sort of falling away. Do you feel they're now starting to fall away from the top 4 race now?
I reckon that with West Ham, I always thought they'd never be top 4, just because it's the sort of thing that over the course of the whole season they haven't got the depth the other teams have, and they've got the Europa League, which is a lot of games. So I'm not really surprised that they also Newcastle are improved. I thought West Ham would edge this game, if I'm honest. I thought when I watched the game, it's still quite even. It wasn't actually a great game to watch, in my point of view, anyway, in terms of quality. At the end, it was you could see that Newcastle have improved a lot. West Ham are struggling a bit, and I think West Ham actually will probably still finish Europa League, and maybe take a push, see how far they can go in Europe. For me, I don't think Newcastle are going to get relegated, as much as people want to see that happen. They haven't bought world-class players, in my opinion, but they bought enough.
I don't get why people want to see that happen, to be honest. I'm just like...
I think it's because they've got the money. I did say, and the people can check streams I did last year. I did talk to Newcastle fans about a year ago.
Is that, just people found that people felt sorry for him because they're having Mike Ashley as the owner.
Possibly.
And they wanted him gone and everything. And then afterwards, after his takeover, they now don't like him.
I think there's a fan base that you'd always think that, for me, Newcastle have got a big fan base. They're one of the better supported teams. They got one of the biggest stadiums. It's always full. The people in Newcastle are fanatical. So I did think that they deserved a better team than they had under Ashley. And I get there's a lot of envy, isn't there? A lot of people are just looking at Man City and thinking in like 5 years' time it's going to be them and Newcastle and it's going to be all about the money. But I don't really. I just think, for me, I'd say if they did get relegated, it'd be quite funny. They'd definitely bounce back and they'd definitely be fine. But for me, I don't hate Newcastle. I don't see why people do hate Newcastle. And Mike's got a good shout there. I said a couple of weeks ago that I think Wolves are a definite dark horse. So you look at them; they don't concede many goals. They're really tough to play against. And now they're actually.
That's why I was impressed with them.
They're a good team.
Definitely. That's why
I think they're going to get
beat them on a Molineux. That's why when we beat them on a Molineux, I was quite impressed with them, and they beat Leicester 2-1. Again,
not surprised at all. Actually, I thought that Wolves would sneak that game by the odd goal.
Leicester were very, very poor in that game, and I don't know what's going on with Leicester.
Do you think it's like the end? Okay, this is my theory on Leicester.
I think it might be the end for Rodgers, to be honest. I think they might need to move on.
There's like a natural cycle for teams, and Leicester had that. They won the league.
By the way, if you do put any questions in, if you do put any questions in, I will get to them at the end.
No, I was going to say that they won the league. Obviously, people talk about that. Then they basically just started finishing like 5th or 6th, and they won the FA Cup. But in reality, they've just been dropping down the league. Now they're back mid-table. I think that the thing with Leicester is they've got a lot of good players, and now I think the players are starting to have their heads turned by other clubs. So like Ndidi or Tielemans, even the manager. I think when the manager was linked with Manchester United, he took his eye off the ball a bit at Leicester. I do think that they're possibly a team that could suddenly have people wanting to leave, and it could be difficult for Leicester to replace these people.
Definitely. I hear that 100%. Gonna go to last. I'm gonna go to. What am I gonna go to? Let's go Southampton's game against Everton towards the bottom end of the Premier League. Oh, hang on. Didn't say that. Don't copyright me, please. I will get copyright for that. So in 2 seconds. Southampton. I've done well this season. they've been quietly going about their business this season, and they've done quite all right.
They're
Not as
hard
bad.
team, aren't they, to play against?
Yeah, they're not as good as. I don't think they had as good a start as last season, obviously, but they've been pretty much the same level. Everton, I don't know what's going on with Everton. I don't know whether I think Everton could go down. Honestly, I do
You know, the
think
thing
it.
is, look at the league table, and there's some teams that I think Newcastle are making progress. They're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, look at their form. If you look at their form, then look at Burnley's form compared to Everton.
The three teams that you look at: Everton, Leeds, and Brentford. Brentford are in a atrocious run at the moment. The thing is that can Norwich, Watford, and Burnley actually get enough points? And the thing is, you look at the fixtures, and some of them will start playing against quite difficult teams. I still think it's probably the bottom three most likely, but I think Brentford could fall a bit more.
Why would they unless they get rid of Rodgers? They're just a mid-table team. There's nothing special about them. It's part of
I kind of agree with Daniel.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
I think they are a mid-table team, but I think because of overperforming for a few years, the fan base now kind of thinks they're a top 4 team.
Yeah, they raise their expectations, don't they? So it's always been about the money, even with Man United, biggest gate revenue, oil sponsorship, and the original oil club. Yep, absolutely. Since steps in the Premier League, it's been more about money now. Whoever spends the most wisely. Yep. Apparently, if Everton get relegated, they could go in his administration in the Championship. Wow, Jesus!
Surprising.
Nobody talks about it, but Everton lost James Rodriguez. He was a really good asset for them, like Coutinho at Villa after a few games. He's got a good point. We'll stay up. We have Newcastle, Norwich, and Burnley coming up, as well as Watford.
Yeah.
Soon
maybe it's
we
just
should
been a
be
bad
fine.
run though, because I don't necessarily know exactly who everyone's played.
I think it's Daniel mentioned it. I think in the preview, it's mainly because of injuries. It's because of it. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that's been the main thing.
Because I'll
So
say
let
that
me just.
there's quite a few fans that I get when I do my weekly podcast. There's quite a few fans on the Premier League podcast or other podcasts that there's an Everton fan that joins in. There's a Watford fan, so I kind of get a bit of feedback about those teams. I don't know too much about Brentford. So if Brentford have got those games coming up, it's probably basically like a key few games, isn't it? That if they win a couple of those games, they're probably absolutely clear. They'll be nowhere near relegation. It's just if they mess up those games, and Norwich have looked a lot better recently. I still don't think they'll stay up, but you never know. One of those teams could go on a bit of a run, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Also, Eriksen soon. Yeah, that's a good point. Eriksen's got to come in the team. Unfortunately, Arsenal don't have much money. Don't have as much money, and hardly knows how to spend it now. That's a good point. We had 11 injuries around Christmas time. Yeah, that was a good point as well. Aston Villa against Watford.
This is quite a surprising result for me.
Quite a surprising result, to be honest. I was very surprised.
I speak to a Watford fan every time I do a preview, and he basically said Watford are down. I know they kind of dragged the manager out of retirement. It must have given him a sweet deal if you can avoid relegation. That's all I can say. But I think Roy should have retired. Win at Villa though. Yeah, a couple of bad results for Aston Villa.
I think Watford don't. I don't really want Watford to stay up because they've put themselves in this situation. To be honest,
I know they're going for the third manager of the season. I don't know if they could do it. That result does make it interesting. It might come down to a few games between the bottom 6 and who they play.
Might be a final day decided. You never know.
It's weird, isn't it? You have a game where Norwich unfortunately have had to play Liverpool and Man City, so they got no points from those games. But they did actually put up a fight. And against Watford or against Burnley or against Newcastle, Norwich could do something. So I still think they'll get relegated. Don't get me wrong. I think those bottom three are probably going down.
Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool, as we expected, were going to batter Norwich, and they did.
That's closer than I thought, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much into that, to be honest, because that was pretty too easy from an Liverpool point of view, Brentford haven't won a game since 2nd of January. Villa to win. How much would Ismail Sarr cost if don't know, probably about 15 mil, something like 10, 15 mil, something like that. Tops. Something like that. But yeah, I want to try and see if we be at the bottom of the table. So if we be at the bottom of the table or matches, let me see the matches they're playing. So they've got Chelsea on the last day. If we look at Newcastle, they've got Burnley on the last day.
That could be interesting, unless Newcastle are absolutely safe.
Well, sorry. I'm completely screwing this up. Burnley, I've got. Right, so that's that. So Norwich have got who on the last day? Tottenham. Everton, they've got Arsenal on the last day, so we'll give them that. Brentford, Leeds. That could be interesting.
Yeah,
That could be a
Norwich got
show.
written off, weren't they? And somehow they kind of, under Dean Smith, they look like a different team, which is amazing, really, considering where they were. The fact they're actually even consideration of win away from actually moving up a few places.
That's the thing, and it'd be interesting. That Brentford Leeds game and last game of the season might be a very interesting game, especially if Everton are involved in a final day decider with Arsenal. They're playing them. Probably 30 mil contract ends in 2 years. That's a good point. Probably something like that. Burnley and Everton to go down, in my opinion. Norwich will find a way out of it somehow. Norwich.
It'd be quite funny if they did. Wouldn't mind if they did.
Somehow. They might do. It depends. Be very, very lucky, I feel. The questions that came up. Which player as a United fan would you take from Arsenal to improve your side? Fuck me. The one to improve our side. I'd take Cavani. I'd take a Cavani. We need a striker up front.
I'd probably take Saka or Martinelli. They're probably two.
If you're talking about
better
someone
players
that we need right now to score goals, you'd take a Cavani, wouldn't you? To be honest, because he scores goals for Man United. He performs on the big stage. All right, so yeah, Varane possibly, but G-Man, Gabriel's doing a good job in defence. Our defence is kind of solid, to be fair.
It's going better than ours at the moment.
Yeah, so I'd say up front we just need a striker, and Cavani's a good striker, so I'd take Cavani in the way we are in a minute. Would I take him as an option for the end of the at the end of the season in the summer? No, I'll go get someone else. But like, who would you take if you were the other way around?
Probably Saka, I suppose.
Saka. Okay. Everton and Villa could both get dragged in down. Gerrard and Lampard have partial.
I think Aston Villa probably be okay.
Yeah, Aston Villa will be all right, I think.
They've done pretty well in the.
I don't think Villa will go down. United take Gabriel and see any proper defender to allow Varane some relief. It's a good point. Gabriel would work well with Varane, I believe. I think he would do.
Partey, how good is his injury record?
Partey, he's had one big injury, and then when he came back after an injury, Arteta injured again by pushing him back on the pitch. Oh no! But if it's Arteta in fans, Arteta didn't do that. It was Partey's fault for falling for sitting on the floor when there was live play. You don't sit on the floor during live play. Well, hang on, how's he supposed to run? He's injured. You know what I mean? Like it's everyone else's fault. It's not Arteta's fault. Partey's ran ragged by Xhaka. That does help. That does make a point. You've got a very good point. I'm just gonna. Where's the other questioner? Who replaces Rodgers if he gets sacked or walks? That's a good point. Who replaces him? That's a good debate to have. Who would replace Rodgers if he got sacked or walked? Who would you go for if you were the owner? And I think the owner would do it. I think he would pull the trigger in some, because he expects so much from his club.
Yeah, I don't know who would go.
He did it with Ranieri, remember?
It's difficult. Do you know what I think the surprise is? Just while I'm thinking, the surprise managerial appointment that's worked out quite well is probably the Wolves one.
Yeah,
I thought
no one
when
had
it
a clue.
started off, I thought Wolves was like a team last season that looked like it
I
was
looked this up in the
going
paper.
to struggle.
He was he was the lowest rated manager, and Arteta was the second lowest rated manager by all fans in the Premier League.
And just the way that Wolves have improved over the season. I don't know. Do you think there's any Premier League managers that would? Do you think they could next someone like Hassan Hussel from Southampton? I think he's doing decent.
Potter.
And Potter's another one. They're two teams that are probably league positions similar to Leicester at the moment, but they certainly haven't got the same quality in players. I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Gasperini, he needs the Atlanta style of play and similar recruitment and improvement in Leicester should they not get top four.
It's difficult to see Leicester getting top four, isn't it? Because you've got
they're not going to get
Man City and Liverpool are pretty much out there on their own. Then after that, you've got Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, probably Leicester in the mix, but Leicester are too far behind now to catch any of those. And even West Ham have looked much better than Leicester this season. And at the moment, Wolves are a better team than Leicester.
Mm-hmm. He never had a problem at Atletico with Sal Koke and Lorente. Why because they aren't egotists. Yeah, sorry. Pogba, Fred, Varane, Sancho, Martial, Van der Beek to Arsenal, in my opinion.
I think half anyway.
Van der Beek. I mean, Van der Beek. Like, I don't get why he never got a chance. I honestly don't.
We're gonna find out, aren't we? I know he didn't have a good game at Everton, and it's like one game.
I think his first game with the Everton was good.
Yeah, give him a few games, see what he can do.
So what's funny is that I watched the Terrace reaction. I was watching TFT's match reaction, right? And like some guy who was going on about Van der Beek being in the midfield and that, he was pissed off at the fact they sold him or got rid of him to Everton. And then someone they started trolling in the chat all at once saying that Van der Beek had scored. And he was already pissed off by this point, and he just literally dropped his headphones and walked the fuck off at the street.
I heard he had a bad game, but
he just came back later, about 5 minutes later, to find out everyone was
trolling. There must be something on with it, because you have two different managers that both don't pick him and loan him out. I don't know. You kind of want to feel that he has got a future, but it's not looking great, is it? If he does really well at Everton, he's got a chance now, isn't he? He's going to get games, show what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big Sam.
Big Sam. Big Sam.
He did all right with West Ham, didn't he? But then West Ham fans didn't like it.
People say he also did all right in England. He's got 100% winning record.
Yeah, he's got a 0% record in dodgy deals there, hasn't he? And avoiding them.
I think that Scott Parker will go to Leicester when Roger leaves.
Okay. Is he still at Fulham?
Is he still at Fulham? I don't know. Scott Parker was a decent
So Fulham have been on absolute fire this season, and they're going to get promoted. So. If they did get promoted, I think he'd stay with Fulham.
Teams coached.
I can find. I'll have a look at your.
Is he Bournemouth? Yeah, he's managing. He's manager at Bournemouth.
Manager at Bournemouth. Maybe then.
He's managing Bournemouth right now. Yeah, but he's Bournemouth's manager right now.
Maybe if Bournemouth don't get promoted, then maybe he'd be a shout.
Atlanta get top four. Gasperini won't leave UCL football. Was my point. Leicester be top half. Yeah, Yeah, that's a good point.
The question I got for okay, I don't think there's any Leicester fans in the comments, but the thing is, if you miss out on Champions League football for a little while, then the players at Leicester aren't going to suddenly see Leicester bouncing back up to top 4. So it might start getting difficult to attract those quality players again. When you're up there, it's a lot easier. And with Leicester, you definitely get, you're going to get games, and there'll probably be less pressure than some of the other teams. So it could be a bad year for them, because I don't think they're going to get close to Europe this season.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't going to get anywhere near it this season. I'd be very surprised. If you look at the table, they're 11th now. They're not even going to get Europa League.
No, they're looking bad, aren't they? Like they've played games recently. Wolves have played them.
They're struggling to like their set piece. I saw the set pieces. The defending is they're so static.
It's awful, isn't it? It's like there's no marking
so
whatsoever.
Bad. I'm like, mate, I thought Arsenal were bad at defending.
I thought we were bad last season. I thought we were shit at corners. I did joke. I said that if we concede like 3 corners, it's the same as conceding a goal, because someone will score. If we concede like a couple of free kicks, one will be a goal, because we couldn't defend, save our lives. And I'm looking at Leicester now and thinking, God, I thought we were bad. They looked like a Sunday
I saw
league
the West
team.
Ham one. I knew the West Ham one was like. Which was funny is that I was watching Nippon's. I was on Nippon's stream and I was doing the I was after doing the watch along to Leicester West Ham, and I saw the handball, and it was half of it was on the sleeve, half of it was on the skin. Now, I don't know what they made a new. I don't know if they made a new rule about if it hits the sleeve, it's not handball, but it definitely hit half his arm, so it's definitely handball. And this West Ham fan, he wasn't having it, and he was calling us all blind and everything. So me being me, I just giving it back to him, saying, "Well, mate, if you can't see it, you're fucking blind, mate. Now you got a Specsavers, right?" And so that's it. We just started having. He started having a go at me. I had a go at him, and then I thought, "Nah, fuck this." So I got a picture of it, like the video I stopped where it hit his arm and he's hit his skin, and I literally showed a picture of it, zoomed in, and said, "Can you see it now?" And literally the next comment was, he said, like, look, your face is one I can remember. I don't see it come Stratford way. He said, all right, so because you've lost an argument, you want to threaten me with physical violence. Okay, let's go, people. Yeah, be lucky to try and find me in Stratford, mate. I live nowhere fucking near it. I live on the other side of the country, mate. Try me. But good luck. I just like, it's just gone from a good debate about whether it's handball or not to complete physical violence.
Yeah, people get a bit too sensitive about some things. I just want to say to Colonel Ward, Colonel Ward definitely needs to watch my channel, because I want people like this that agree with me.
Exactly what I said.
Exactly right, isn't it? Leicester have been overperforming for a while, and they're just not as good as people talk them up to be. That indeed, Madison, Bobby Barnes, they'll leave to bigger
Chris
clubs.
said it from the start of the season. When they first had those first few games, after their first 6 games, Chris had been saying it from the start of the season. He said he was going to have that was going to be a reality check season, and they are. But yes, you might be having a reality check season, but Chris, if your manager keeps this up, he's not going to stay. Simple as that. You're gonna need a refreshing, because in the end, the more you drop off, the more the players stop believing in the manager. The more the players stop believing in the manager, the more you fall off, right? And then before you know it, you start to fall towards the bottom end of the table, and then you are gonna want him out. Simple as that. The players won't play if they don't have any faith in the manager and what he's trying to instill. And if you've been performing at this level with a certain manager, and now all of a sudden you're performing at this level, you're going to start to think, is he really up to the job? So, yeah, for me, like, I think Leicester are getting to a point where they need to swap managers. It's one of those. Do you remember? I think Eddie. The reason Bournemouth went down is because they didn't get rid of Eddie Howe soon enough. The relationship had gone stale.
Yeah, I think they
this
reached
is the
like an end of
same.
a cycle, didn't they? And when it kind of
Yeah,
starts doing that, for
it's
me,
one
I
of
think
those. It's a
Bournemouth,
psycho manager.
I think if Bournemouth had stayed up, they'd have probably been okay the next year. It's just like they had one bad year. This is Leicester's bad year, but Leicester have gone from trying to be in the top 4 to mid-table, and Bournemouth
I mean,
went
you look at
from surviving comfortably to just getting relegated.
you look at the table in the Championship, for example. Bournemouth are up there with Scott Parker, so you can tell Scott Parker's doing it in that league. And don't forget, he's got a game in hand on Fulham and 2 on Blackburn. Blackburn are 3rd, right? And they're probably going to get in the playoffs, to be honest, with the way things are. Because if Bournemouth win their game in hand, they're 61 and 64, but and Fulham 64. So yeah, so for me, it's Bournemouth are like, and Fulham have got the top 2 spots, I feel, with, I mean, I know it's got 14 games to go, but I love to see Blackburn get back up here, like, because I remember Blackburn used to be such an horrible team to play against, but in the early 2000s, and then they just dropped off, because, again, what happens when you don't run a club well from the board down, is sort of what happens. This is what ends up being the end result. You end up getting relegated. But I mean, you've got. If I show the table, I mean, what team would you like to? I mean, what team do you think would will get to first automatically promoted, and then out of the 4, which 4 do you think will get? Yeah, what 4 do you think will get into the playoffs, and which one do you think will go through?
So I think automatic is probably Fulham plus. See, I think Bournemouth are looking good, aren't they? The fact that they played less games than everybody else. I know they've lost 2 games recently, but playoff wise, I'd probably go for Blackburn. It's difficult. I think Blackburn and QPR probably. Then Huddersfield, Sheffield United, Middlesbrough. Honestly, seeing Forest play, I wouldn't be surprised if Forest make a push, because they looked extremely good against Arsenal and against Leicester. They're a little bit off, but I think 6 points behind with 10 games to go. Possibly they could be one of the teams that sneak in like in the last place, like 6th place. Otherwise, I'd probably go for one from Huddersfield, Sheffield United, maybe on quite a good form. But I'd quite like to see Forest back in the Premier League for the same reason you said. They're just historically been a Premier League team for most of the early part of the Premier League. So they'd be quite good to see, particularly also because you've got Leicester up there. They've got no natural rivals of the Leicester, so it'd be good to see Forest back in there.
Absolutely, it'd be nice to see. For me, I'd like to see either Middlesbrough, Blackburn up here. Huddersfield. Huddersfield are not a bad little club. I like Huddersfield as a little club. I don't think Nottingham Forest will get in the playoffs, to be honest, if I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'd go with like fan base size and go Nottingham Forest, big fan base, historically big. Go
historically
for
big club. I'd love to see them get back in the Premier League.
Blackburn or Fulham. They're not up there, but a Sheffield team as well. And maybe see some other teams that haven't got that fan base get relegated. But I'm gonna have to jump off, Stephen.
Yeah, mate, I'm gonna wrap it up anyway, mate. To be honest, because we've pretty much covered it all anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good to get on. I know I say I'll try and get on, but obviously it depends on what time and everything.
Of course, man. But we're gonna leave it there, guys. Yeah, mates. Sorry, one last question: did Bogle get injured? Don't know. But anyway, we're gonna leave it there, guys. There was a few people watching tonight, so at this hour. So big up to everyone always. Those idiots at the start, obviously Like, they're idiots. So don't worry about them coming on. They won't come back on again. But yeah,
I post my
Rich.
channel link just in the comments.
Yeah, go for it, man. You're more than
And
welcome
so
to.
there's some good questions there, and I say anyone watching, the more questions you get in, just the more fun it makes it and easier it makes it to stream. So
Yeah, because you just
cheers.
have
Thanks
that.
for
You
letting me
can.
on, Steve, as well.
No, you're welcome, man. You know you're welcome anytime. Absolutely. And if you haven't, go and check out Rich Sports, as well as Man United. He does quizzes, does just general football podcasts. So make sure you go and give him a like and subscribe. Try not to bore him too much about F1 either, like I do. I'll probably do that too
I
much
don't
too
know much
often.
about F1, to be fair. It'll be not worth it.
Let's just say we're not talking about last season, we're talking about this season now. So let's move on. But anyway, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, people. In terms of F1, I'll be on the F1 channel doing the car launch for the Alpine new car. And then there'll be another historical show, I believe. And then there's, I will be doing, I think, a prediction stream for the Champions League this week. I think on Monday evening, which is why I wanted to do this stream now, so I can get that done. So I will be doing that. So keep your eyes peeled for that tomorrow. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, have a good evening, and we'll see you soon. Until then, take care. Bye bye.